Hi everybody, it's Sarah Doman here and I'm the resident play expert for Rosa and Bo, and today I'm here to talk to you all about how you can introduce maths to your children through play. Now, when we think about maths, it can be quite a daunting subject, I think, for parents, particularly if, like me, it wasn't your favourite subject at school, but also it can feel quite formal to be introducing this kind of topic to our young children. But actually, not only does learning about maths at a young age help with a child's overall learning and development, but it can really help them make sense of the world around them, help them to bring some order into what is otherwise quite an unknown world. So it's really worth spending some time thinking about how to do this, and that's exactly what we're going to do here today. There are obviously lots of different aspects of maths that we could talk about, so I've just picked a few key ones that we're going to explore, and we're going to kick off with size. So children are curious about size, they're curious about their size in relation to themselves and to other people, and it's something they become aware of quite early. And when we want to deepen that understanding, one of the best ways we can do that is by using resources that have similar attributes. Because what this does is it allows any other stimulus that might distract to be taken away, and we can focus in just on the changes of size. So for example, a great resource that you could use to do this is to pick something from nature, because we have so many free resources at our fingertips. So if you wanted to perhaps introduce the sizes small and big, you could look at something like a snail, an ant, a worm. And these creatures are ones that look almost identical, exactly the same, but the size is what differs. And so therefore children can really focus on what is different about that, what looks bigger, what looks smaller. And if you wanted to have a resource to take this on even further, one of my favourite resources that we have here at Rosa and Bo for particularly learning about size are our nesting babies, and for the very reason that I mentioned just now, because our nesting babies have very similar attributes. So the colours may change, but actually the shape of the dolls is the same. It's the size that gets bigger or gets smaller, and you can take it further and further by introducing problem solving, by trying to get them to fit the dolls back together. But again, you know, they have those similar attributes. That's the thing that you want to be looking out for. So moving on to capacity. Now, size and capacity go hand in hand, and we absolutely know, don't we, that children love filling and emptying from a very early age. Now, one of the best things about learning capacity is that these activities can be done in the garden or in the bath, which minimises clearing up time for you, but maximises playtime for our children, and they're completely open-ended, and they can keep going with them and changing the game, learning so much. And there is some key language that you can introduce to your child around capacity, which is really going to take that learning to the next level. So introducing words like full, empty, half full, half empty, depending on what your persuasion of half full or half empty is, and more or enough. And also it's a really great way to introduce stop if there's too much, and that's something that they can learn themselves as well without feeling like they've made a mistake, which is a really safe way for a child to learn about this concept. And if you have the nesting babies already, you'll be able to see on our Instagram feed, we've got a gorgeous picture of some children playing with the babies and filling them up and emptying them. And that could be used in water, so they're great to take in the bath. You can be using those outside with a hose, filling them up, emptying them, but things like rice, oats, all of these gorgeous sensory resources that are available to us, you can be using those to be teaching your children about capacity, and so many other learning benefits are within this. So they can be listening to the sound that they're making, they can try and fit a lid on and shake it together. And so moving on to maths language, but something I wanted to focus on particularly is positional language. Now, this is something that we teach within the early years curriculum in the UK. And it's something that I guarantee you will already be doing with your children, but I'm going to give you some tips to take it even further now. So positional language is phrases such as on top, next to, beneath, through, behind. And so this is language that you can really use during play. So during hide and seek is a great way to be using that kind of language. We also released very recently a matching card game where you match the top and tail of a little person or a little creature, and that is a great game. So those kind of card games, the kind of matching games, are great to be using positional language, because really naturally you can just be asking what goes on top of that, and you can have some fun with it. You know, if your child, you can tell purposely they've made a mistake to kind of mix up the top and tail, you can say, is that the right one that goes on top? And, you know, just really naturally be introducing that vocabulary so that they can then take that forward and use that independently. So if you have enjoyed this, I really hope you have. Let us know in the comments, because we love to hear from you. And if you want to know more, I go into this in more depth on our blog, which you can access on our website. Any questions, please let me know.